With that, I can take maybe one or two questions. I'm really late on time, but maybe.
Yeah, we can take a couple of questions.
Okay. Right here.
So if you can have the trucks with the laser scanning and you can grab the pictures and so on, does that mean you're going to automatically be making SketchUp models of the world?
That's a very prescient question. We stated all along that our goal was to model every building on the planet because people live in buildings, and it's not the planet without the buildings. Most people live in China. Some people live in caves in certain areas, but in general, people live in buildings. We always knew that SketchUp wouldn't be enough. Okay, but we also knew that SketchUp would be necessary for like you doing the shed at the back of your garden because it's not in a downtown urban core. Maybe it's on a hillside somewhere. You know, so there's things that we could do in downtown Vancouver that wouldn't happen on top of Grouse Mountain. You know, that kind of thing. So we're making SketchUp better, and we have news about that this year. We're making other things better, and we're working with companies and individuals who have these parties to model the world, and it's working very well, actually. We have whole cities, Hamburg, Munich, people just doing 50,000 buildings, 100,000 buildings. The BIM activity of really focusing on intelligent buildings is giving cities the wherewithal to have the data to take the outside shell and then export that.
Last question.
Oh, okay. I agree with you on the power of all this user-created data, Michael. I was at the OpenStreetMap conference the other week. Just a couple of questions on that front. You mentioned the data liberation front. At the moment, as I understand it, still, if I put my data in, I can't get it out. You said non-profits can get it and so on. So maybe you can just talk about your thoughts on where that's going. And the second question is, do you think there's a possibility of you guys collaborating with OpenStreetMap, or how do you see that general thing shaping up?
Okay, great. That's good. You know, you notice you go to Wikipedia. There's no Google version of Wikipedia because Wikipedia is great, and what could we possibly add to that? And it's a lot bigger now than it used to be because we link everybody to it, so it's growing. But it was already good. But we went to OpenStreetMap first, and the problem with OpenStreetMap was that, which is fine, but the people who contribute data retain ownership of their data, which sounds like a nice thing, you know, very nice. The problem with that is then they can't give it to us. I mean, they could give it to us, but then if we use it, like you could sue me, Google, and say, I want billions because you used my polyline that goes right around Buckingham Palace, and so I want your money. And it sounds like a silly thing, but people are just, you know, people spend Saturday night dreaming things to sue people about. So they didn't really have a good license under which they had been given the data that would let them give it to somebody, a tertiary person, with absolutely no risk of the original people. And so we talked to them about that for like more than a year. And the final resolution was we had to build something. Now, as far as working with them, we don't want to take their, you know, we don't want to receive their data if they can't give it to us in a way that we could show it without getting sued by those unknown people that contributed it. So that currently is the sticking point. Although we do work with them, we like them. If they had their kind of legal act in order, we would have not ever done anything on our own. We do let people export data from MapMaker, and so right now it's the nonprofits, or at least a non-commercial use, and so probably stay like that. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for your time.